Good morning and welcome to Inspirational Slow Flow Yoga. So today we're going to start on our back. I'm going to give you a couple options. We're going to do a supported Baddha Konasana, so a supported butterfly pose. So you can have your back flat on the mat and have a rolled up blanket to support the head and maybe two blocks underneath the legs. Or if you want to make it a little bit more restorative, then take a bolster or something bolster-like that you might have available in your house and create a little bit of an incline. And then we'll use two rolled up blankets or towels, whatever you have for underneath the thighs. So whatever you choose, we're going to come onto our backs. And if you're using a bolster, make sure you get your low back right up to the bolster. And come on down. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees splay open. And I want this to be restorative-ish. So, prop yourself up as needed to feel as supported as possible, but still allow for some space for opening. So don't prop it so much so that you don't feel like any stretch is happening. And then bring the arms out to the sides with the palms facing upward. Just allowing the shoulders to begin to release away from the ears and for the heart to begin to open. This posture goes completely counter to the posture of fight or flight. So when we're in fight or flight, we curl up like a little ball, like more of a fetal position. That's the way that the body will naturally kind of orient itself. So here we're opening the hips, we're opening the heart, we're allowing the body to begin to counter the effects of stress. So we'll enter into a healing state by having the breath help us. So we'll start with 3 cleansing breaths, in through the nose and out an open mouth. We know that 3 conscious breaths take us out of fight or flight and into our rest and digest nervous system. So these breaths, these cleansing breaths also help us to rid the body of held tension and stress, but also the chemicals that we store in our bodies due to stress, like epinephrine, adrenaline, and cortisol. So we're going to keep the breath going like this. So those cleansing breaths are going to be a little more forceful, but now just find a slow, steady rhythm, breathing in through the nose deeply, filling into the lungs, and then just exhaling through an open mouth. Let the jaw release, feel the muscles of the face begin to relax. As you exhale out an open mouth, you might even feel with each breath, body becoming heavier, more relaxed, softer. So just continue like this with these letting go breaths, ushering your body into just a state of healing. I want to read to you from a Daily Om by Madison Taylor that to me really just spoke to me and to a lot of people I know. And she writes, "Most people, when given the opportunity to aid someone in need, are eager to do whatever they can to be of service. Those of us who have chosen to make healing the world a vocation are grateful for any occasion to send light and love to people in our immediate spheres of influence and beyond. As we apply our passion and our principles to this altruistic endeavor, we often forget to send ourselves the same bountiful gifts of wellness, though we ourselves may be in dire need of it. We overlook ourselves not because we forget, but because we fear that focusing on the self is an indicator of selfishness. It is moreover much more difficult to heal oneself than to heal others because the seeds of uncertainty are more easily banished when we act on another's behalf. When we send healing light to ourselves, it is important that our intentions and our self-trust be stronger than ever to counteract doubt. As we bless ourselves in this way, we serve as both an active channel and a passive destination. This should not change the way we interact with the valuable energy we wish to receive, however. Though we may be tempted to consciously direct or influence the manner in which light impacts our lives because we know ourselves most intimately, we should not try to control its path. When we draw the light of our protection and purity to our bodies, taking it into ourselves with each inhalation, Our belief in the fact that it will naturally move toward areas of dysfunction will ensure that it flows through every muscle and organ. When we fill our spaces with this light, our environments are cleared of all the negative energy that can sap our strength and our spirit. Surrounded inside and out with healing light, we feel safe and protected, healthy, relaxed, and content, just as those who regularly receive such loving gifts from us do. If you sincerely believe there's a part of yourself that exists independently of upset and illness, the love and light you send yourself will help you connect with it. You will see the affirmative impact of this connection almost immediately when you include yourself in the recipients of your healing gifts. As life's frustrations become more tolerable and your bliss becomes ever more palpable. So just take a moment to really draw in healing love, healing light into your body through the breath, through your intention, sending it to any areas of discomfort, any areas where you need it. And even if you don't know what those areas are, just trust that that energy knows exactly where to go. It knows what you need. Your body is always working toward healing, toward harmony and balance, and toward that space of wellness. We just have to provide the container and the right environment for it. So in this posture, just continue to allow the breath to come in your mind's eye. Maybe it's light, maybe you give it a color. And maybe you can even visualize that healing light, love, and energy just navigating its way through your body, just helping to promote your own health and wellness. Jack Kornfield said, if your compassion does not include yourself, it's incomplete. And we cannot pour out from an empty cup. So let this be a time of filling back up, of filling your reserves, so that you can continue to be all that you need to be for those who need you and love you and are part of your circle. I'm going to go ahead and start bringing the legs up. And then if you have a bolster underneath your back, we'll go ahead and just lift ourselves up for a moment and move it out of the way. And then move any other props that you have out of the way so that we can come flat onto our back. Good. Feet will be about hip width distance apart, just below your seat. Make sure that you feel grounded through those feet, so spread the feet wide and feel them like they're growing roots into the earth. As much of your spine is contacting the earth as possible, so a softening into that low back. If you've got a little sway in that low back, drawing your navel toward your spine and kind of flattening into the back, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Kind of slide the scapula toward each other on the back side of your body. And then we're going to interlace our fingers just above our chest. So interlaced fingers are reaching up toward the ceiling. On the inhale, stretch and reach, let the shoulders lift up off the mat as you try to bring your knuckles up toward the ceiling even more. And then draw your navel toward your spine and squeeze all the breath out. On the inhale, bend the elbows and start to bring your hands toward your heart. As you do this, lift the hips into bridge and bring your heart toward your hands. On the exhale, we're going to lower back down. Stretch and reach those knuckles up toward the ceiling. Pressure back into the earth. Squeeze all the breath out. On the inhale, bend those elbows. Start to bring your hands toward your heart. Healing love, light, and energy coming toward you. We can't give what we haven't received. On the exhale, maybe you're sharing it back out as you reach the knuckles up toward the ceiling. Just continue to breathe like this. Filling yourself up, sharing it back out. Lots of breath as you move through these bridge poses. Beautiful job. Good. We're going to go ahead and reach the arms up overhead. And then gently begin to hinge your upper body over to the right. Now you can keep the feet on the floor like this, or you can stretch and reach that left foot long. So we're gonna feel a big stretch into that left side. As you do this, chamber the right hip in. So it's like you're hugging your right hip toward the right ribs. So we're squeezing out on that right side as we're stretching into the left. Focus on your breath. Lateral bending here. On the inhale, come back to center, bend into that left leg if you straighten it out. Get a nice long stretch here, so find length in your body. And then we're gonna start to hinge the upper body over to the left. Keep the shoulder blades down on the mat. And then if you wanna add stretching through that right leg, extend it long and really stretch into that right side. As you do that, hug your left hip in toward your left rib cage, left side of your rib cage. Breathe here. Nice job. Come back to the center. Let's straighten the legs out entirely. Just find a nice big full body stretch. Maybe you point the toes away from the body. Maybe you flex them back and go back and forth, or maybe you're circling the feet, whatever feels good. And just really stretch our fascia, our muscles, like your first morning stretch. Nice job. On your exhale, gently sweep your arms around to take a hold of your knees, bringing your knees toward your chest. So the hands might be just below the knees or behind the knees. And then begin to rock a little here, side to side. Good. Now, adding to your rocking, we're going to begin to circle those knees. Now, you can use the knees to help guide the legs, or you can bring the arms out to the sides. This will create some core engagement, and circle the knees above your chest without holding on to them, keeping the shoulder blades grounded on the mat. Hug those thighs toward each other, doing a little sacral massage here. And then go in the other direction, unwinding about the same number of times. Continue to breathe. Good. We're going to keep the knees above the chest, hugging the thighs toward each other. You can also add a block between the thighs and really hug those thighs together. This is going to help create some deep core engagement, which will help to support your spine. On the exhale, let's release the knees over to the right, just a little bit, keeping that left shoulder blade grounded. Inhale, bring the knees back up. Exhale, take the knees over to the left. Challenging our core a little bit here. Inhale, the knees come up the whole time. We're going to keep our shoulder blades grounded on the mat. Exhale, see if you can come over a little bit more to the right. Inhale, come back up. Remaining connected to your breath. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back up. Beautiful. One more time each side. Exhale. Coming down maybe a little lower. Inhale, back up. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, back up. Beautiful. Release the block. Float the left foot to the floor. And then we're going to place the right ankle just above our left knee, flexing into that foot to protect the knee and ankle joints. Gently press your right knee forward. So we're opening into that hip, creating space in that hip capsule and in that joint. Keep breathing. Good, and if it's available, we'll interlace the hands behind that left leg. Draw that knee in, flex both feet. Big stretch into that piriformis and into that right hip. Maybe rocking a little here. Keep breathing. That rocking helps the muscles to release their grips on the bones, very calming for the nervous system. Come back to the center. See if you can hug it in just a little bit closer. At the same time, maybe press your right elbow into that right inner thigh. Don't forget to breathe. Our body needs that oxygen, that vital breath for all the systems of our body, but our muscles also need that oxygen in order for them to stretch and for them to work. We'll interlace the hands behind our skull, keeping the legs up like this. And then on the exhale, draw your navel toward your spine. We're going to lift up, squeeze. On the inhale, lower the chest back down. Now, if you want to, you can add lowering that left foot or extending the left leg long. You might just do the upper body, your choice. Exhale, bend that left knee, squeeze, lifting your chest toward your shin. Inhale, lower back down, and maybe extend the leg if that feels good for your body. We're going to keep moving like this a few more times. Squeeze. We're heating up that core, helping to circulate vital energy through our body, through our organ systems, through our meridians, through our energy channels. Remember that energy knows exactly where it needs to go. We just need to help create pathways, and sometimes there's some blockages. So we're working through that in order to open up those channels so the energy is free to flow. Beautiful. Go ahead and float that left foot down to the mat. Take the arms to the sides like wings. We're going to allow both of our knees to go over to the right, coming into a twist. Soften into that left shoulder. If it's lifting, maybe take your gaze to the left. A few breaths here. Twists are inherently detoxifying, cleansing, like wringing out a dirty washcloth. It helps with digestion, elimination, helps restore the health of our spine. 70% of our toxins leave the body through the breath. So make those exhales count. Let go of those toxic thoughts, energies, emotions, things you hold on to that keeps you from being in that space of healing. On the inhale, slowly come back up. And then we'll unravel those legs, bring the right foot to the floor with the knee bent. Take your left ankle just above your right knee in that figure 4 shape or reclined pigeon. Take your left hand, gently press that left thigh forward. Make sure to keep that foot flexed to protect the ankle and knee. Breathe here. Create space in that joint. Interlace your hands behind your leg, your right leg, and then we're going to begin to rock here. Starting to loosen things up a little bit. Some self-care, self-nurturing, sending some love to yourself. Let your breath be like little love notes to your body. Good. Come back to center. Interlace your hands behind your skull. I want to make sure you're not wrenching on the back of the neck, that we're just holding gently here. On the exhale, squeeze. Let the core do the work, lifting your chest up. On the inhale, lower down. Again, if you want to add an extension of that leg or lower the foot to the floor, feel free. Exhale, squeeze it in. Listening to your body the whole time. Healing cannot take place if we're at war with our bodies. Our body is not betraying us. Our body is constantly working toward healing. And if something's going wrong, it means there's an imbalance. And so we have to identify that imbalance and begin to cultivate the opposite in order to foster healing in the body, the mind, heart, spirit. Just a few more here, lots of breath. Good. Float that right foot to the floor, keeping that number 4 shape, arms out to the sides like wings. Release both of your legs over to the left now. Soften into the right shoulder, maybe gaze over your right hand. Breathe. Focus on the sensations that you have in your body. Honor your body. Extend the same loving kindness and compassion toward yourself that you would to someone you dearly love. Slowly begin to unravel, and then gently draw the knees toward the chest one more time, maybe a few rocks here, until you find your way onto one side of your body, whatever feels natural to you. Just rest there for a moment in a fetal position. Louise Hay, who wrote the book, You Can Heal Your Life, said, you have the power to heal yourself, and you need to know that. We think so often we are helpless, but we are not. We always have the power of our minds. Claim and consciously use your power. Slowly begin to bring yourself up. We're going to find our way onto all fours. So I want to offer you a blanket if you feel that you need something to support the knees, or you just want some extra cushion. Remember that we always want to find that balance of shira and sukha, which we talked about last week. Shira being that effort, and then sukha being the ease. So oftentimes we make things harder than they need to be. Can we bring some ease to our postures? So the knees are directly underneath those hips. Span those fingers wide. Index fingers point forward or angle out to the side slightly, at least shoulder width distance apart. And if you have a swing in your back like I do, we're going to lift up through the belly, soften the tailbone down slightly to flatten the back. Now notice if you're dumping into the shoulders, we want to press down into those arms and lift up, and let your crown be an extension of your spine. So it's not hanging down, and it's not, you don't have a big wrinkle in the back of the neck. So let the neck be long. Good. Slide the left knee in slightly, and we're going to take that right foot behind us, and then go ahead and lift that heel so it's an extension of the spine. Good. Reach the left bicep by the left ear here. Squeeze, reaching in opposite directions at the same time. Really draw that navel in toward your spine to keep that core protected. On the exhale, bring the elbow and the knee together. Squeeze it out. Inhale, extend out long. This time it's going to be a little different. We're going to take the left arm out to the left, right foot out to the right. Inhale, back to center. Good. Exhale, elbow to knee, squeeze. Inhale, extend. Exhale, out to the sides. Inhale, front to back. Last time, exhale, knee and elbow toward each other. Inhale, extend, lengthen. Exhale, out to the side. Inhale, back to center. Good. Float that hand down. We're going to take that right foot around to the left, coming on the edge of the foot. And then just draw your left shoulder toward that left hip. Breathe here. Good. Slowly unravel. Bring that knee down. Plant that right knee. Extend the left foot back and then lift the heel. Toes are pointing down, hips are parallel to the mat. If it's available, reach that right bicep by the right ear. Again, lift from the underside of the belly, squeeze. Exhale, bring the elbow and the knee together, squeeze it out. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, side to side. Inhale, front to back. Exhale, elbow to knee, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, out to the side. Inhale, back to center. Last time, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, side to side. Inhale, front to back. And then float that hand down, bring that foot all the way around to the right, coming on the edge of the foot. Gaze can go toward the foot as you hug that right shoulder toward your right hip. Couple breaths. Nice job. Slowly unravel. Bring that knee down. We're going to take the knees wide, bring the toes together. Press our seat back toward our heels. Now, if you're healing in your knees, you can roll up a blanket behind the knees, or just don't come down as far. Walk those hands forward, stretch into your body. Press into the pads of the fingers and lift the heels of the hands. As you do that, hug the shoulder blades toward each other and away from the ears and melt the heart a little. The forehead might not be touching the mat. My ears are lining up with the insides of my biceps. Nice job. Bring the hands to the floor, slide forward. We're gonna straighten those legs out so that the knees are right underneath those hips again, and then bring the hips down toward the mat and lower down carefully. Good. Line up your thumbs with the center of your chest, hug the elbows in toward your ribs, and draw the shoulders away from your ears. At the same time, press into the tops of the feet, engage the legs. Draw your navel toward your spine. On your inhale, we're going to lift up and lift up that left leg, if that's available. On the exhale, lower down, bring the right cheek to the mat. On your next inhale, press down, lift up, right leg lifts. Or the leg just stays fixed to the mat. Exhale, lower down, left cheek to the mat. Inhale, left foot lifts. You might come up a little higher this time. Exhale, lower down, right cheek to the mat. Inhale, lifting up, right foot lifts. Exhale, left cheek to the mat. Good. Last time, each 7. Inhaling, left foot lifts. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift, right leg. Exhale, lower down. Good. Press into those hands. Begin to lift your upper body. And then we'll tuck the toes. Bring your hands a little closer to you. Keep them nice and wide. Bring your chest back toward your thighs. And if it's available, we'll begin to lift the hips up into down dog. Ears line up with the insides of the biceps. The upper body is pressing toward the heels, out of the hands. Hips lift up and back. Walk it out. Nice job. And into both knees. And then step or walk the feet to the front of your mat. Feet are about hip-width distance apart. Like 2 fists to the insides of your feet. Spread those feet wide. Now, if the floor feels far away, you can always have a block here. You may want to have your blocks anyway for what we'll be doing next. So gather those if you need to. Now, bend those knees deeply. Let your rib cage rest on your thighs. We want to have a straight spine in our forward folds, not necessarily straight legs. Far more important that our upper body is straight to protect our spine. Crown will fall toward the floor as the shoulders draw away from those ears, removing any rounding in the upper back as the tail begins to lift. Beautiful. Maybe you take elbow for elbow, just dangling here, helping the spine to just decompress and reverse the effects of gravity. Keeping the belly to the thighs the whole time. On the inhale, we're going to lift halfway, so you can bring your hands to the floor blocks or to your shins. Crown moves forward, tail slides back, long spine. On the exhale, bend into your left knee and bring your left hand to the floor. This is a great place for a block. Keeping that right leg straight. Right arm out to the side like a wing. And then on the inhale, let's rotate the torso to the right. So that left knee is bent, right leg is mostly straight. Hug that right hip back, really open up. Keep breathing. On the inhale, we're going to come up, reach that right hand back, left hand forward. Start to square the hips toward the front and then reverse this. Little back bend. Both legs are now straight, hips are orienting forward, opening up. Inhale, reach that right arm up. On the exhale, bring the hands to heart center and fold out. Inhale, lift halfway. Lots of breath, lengthening the spine. Keep that length. Bend the right knee, right hand down to the block or the floor, left arm out to the side like a wing. Slowly begin to rotate your torso to the left, stacking the left shoulder over the right shoulder. Breathe here. Notice if that left hip's coming forward, hug it back a little bit. Good, reach that left hand behind you, coming all the way up. Square the hips to the front, reverse. Breathe, big back bend here. Only as your body allows. Inhale, reach that left hand up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, fold it out. Nice. Bend those knees. We're going to sweep the arms wide, coming all the way up to mountain. And then on your exhale, float your hands to heart center or alongside those hips. Roll the shoulders back and down. So if you're really sturdy here, we're growing roots. Feel that earth energy rising up through the feet, through the inner arches of the feet, all the way up the legs and through the spine as those shoulders draw back and down. And then you're going to shift your weight over to your left leg. Good, we're going to pick up the right knee. So you can still have the toes to the floor, or you can bring the foot to the block, or you can lift that leg up. You can even straighten that leg if you really want to challenge yourself. You can bring the arms out to the sides like wings if you like, or hands to the hips. Go where you feel most comfortable today. Plug into that left foot. Take a little micro bend in that leg so you feel stable and sturdy and flexible. You can kind of move with your body. Good, we're going to start kicking that foot straight back and folding forward, coming into a warrior three. Now your hands can be at heart center, arms can be out to the side. You can sweep the arms back like wings. You can even reach them forward. You have a healthy back and a strong core. Listen to your body. Beautiful. Bend into your front leg and we're going to take that right foot all the way back, coming onto the ball of the foot. Toe heel your left foot to the left so you're not on a tightrope. Good. On the inhale, we'll reach the arms up into crescent lunge, check in. You'll have somewhat of a bend in that back leg so we can stack ears over shoulders and shoulders over hips and feel that nice stretch to the front side of the right hip. So also we're not leaning forward. Breathe here. On the exhale, fold forward. Little flying airplane in this humble version of our lunge. Inhale, sweep, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up. Know that you can always have that right knee on the ground. So feel free to modify accordingly. Good. With the arms out to the sides like wings, we're going to go ahead and place our right hand to a block or to the floor right below our right shoulder. Good. Keeping that left knee stacking over your left foot and ankle. Begin to rotate your torso, coming into a revolved variation. Check in, hug that left hip in and back. Now, if it's too much to reach the arm up, just bring your hand to your hip and continue to twist here as you draw that elbow and shoulder back. Lots of breath. On the exhale, gently float that hand down. We're going to release the right knee to the floor. Bring hands to opposite sides of your front foot in this low runner's lunge. And sink in a little bit. Let that left knee come forward, but not in front of the toes as you stretch into that right hip flexor and right thigh. Shoulders away from his ears, nice straight spine. And then on the exhale, let's take it back into pyramid. So melting the chest over that thigh, you might choose to bring those hands a little closer to you. You might keep the toes pointed down, or maybe you want to draw the toes back and really stretch that hamstring. Breathe. On the exhale, slowly come back. Good. Bring the hands to the floor, tuck your back toes and lift the hips. And that your right leg. And then we're gonna step the left foot back. Coming right into a down dog. Know that you always can come into a child's pose if you want. Before we pick up that other side, we're gonna take a little break. Remembering that our body needs rest in order to heal. We can't keep putting out. Eventually, we will burn out. We'll run out of stores of energy, and the body will get louder and louder until it makes you rest. Release those knees down, toes come together, press back, coming into a child's pose. Maybe you stack your hands here, or reach the hands back toward your feet. Bianca Sparacino said, be brave enough to heal yourself even when it hurts. So here's the thing about healing. In order to heal something, we have to allow ourselves to feel it. Sometimes we have to go through the discomfort to get to the other side of it. We avoid that space of discomfort. It's normal, it's natural, but there's no way around it. You have to go through it. So we have to feel it to heal it. We're going to slowly begin to come back up. Good. Walk those hands forward, tucking the toes. Press your chest back toward your thighs, lift the hips up and back into down dog. Good. And then we will slowly walk the feet forward to the front of the mat. Folding out with bent knees, straight spine. Good. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing. And then exhale, hands come to the heart or alongside those hips. I'm just going to change direction so I'm facing the camera and you can see me better. Good. So again, grow roots, engage the legs, soften that tailbone down, drawing that navel in and up. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Lengthening through the crown. Begin to shift your weight over to your right foot. We're going to bend into that left knee. You can have the tippy toes pressing to the mat. You can rest the foot on a block. You can begin to lift that knee up, or even extend that leg out in front of you. Hands can be at heart center or out to the sides. Good. Engage your core, lifting in, up, and back with that navel. Engaging all the muscles of the core here to support you. Good. We have so many resources in our body we don't utilize. And it just requires conscious attention as well as our intention. Slowly begin to kick that leg back. We're going to find a warrior three. Adjust however you need to. Hands at heart center, sweeping them back, reaching forward. Whatever feels best for your body. Stretch those toes toward the floor as you press the heel toward the back wall. Good. Take a bend in your front leg. We're going to float that foot down onto the ball of that back foot. Toe heel your right foot over so you're not on a tightrope. You're nice and sturdy. A little bit of a bend in that back leg. We're stacking ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Reach those arms up. That's a breath. Relax the shoulders away from those ears. Keep the core engaged. You're not blasting the energy out through the belly. Keep your energy stores inside. You need them. On the exhale, hinge forward at the hips, folding out. Keep breathing. Inhale, sweep those arms back up. Good. Exhale, folding out over that leg. Inhale, sweeping up like you're gathering energy. It's coming right down through your spine. Exhale. Nice. We're going to float that left hand to a blocker to the floor right underneath our shoulder. I like to sometimes toe heel my left foot back a little bit more just for that opening that space. I like that. Hug your right hip in and back. And again, you can bring your hand to your hip and start rotating your torso to the right, or you can reach that hand up. Check in. Where can you bring ease to your posture here? Maybe it's just coming back to your breath. Sometimes we start holding our breath, and then the pose feels a whole lot harder. On the exhale, gently float that hand down. Release the left knee to the floor. Good. We're going to come into this little runner's lunge. Let that right knee come forward so you feel that deep stretch into the hips. Shoulders away from those ears. Check in with your breath. Let your breath support your healing. Slow, deep, rhythmic breaths. On the exhale, take your chest back, folding over that leg, adjust however you'd like to. Remember, our breathing is an indicator of what's going on in our body. When we're in fight or flight or in a stress state, our breathing is fast, shallow, and irregular. In order to facilitate healing in the body and to get out of that fight or flight state, we need slow, deep, rhythmic breath, conscious breath. Nice job. Slowly begin to come forward. Good. Tuck those back toes, lift your left leg, and then we're going to step it forward. Good. Toe heel your feet so that they're about the width of your mat with your toes pointed out. And then bring your hands to your thighs and come into like a quarterback squat. So the knees are bent, tracking over the feet. Knees are wide. You begin to bring your forearms to your thighs if that's available. You can bring your hands to your heart center here if you like. So this might be your malasana, your yogi squat. You might choose to have a couple blocks behind you to provide a little seat for your bum. You might choose to bring the backs of your arms to the insides of your knees or thighs and begin to lower those hips. And so you might take a seat on those blocks, or you might just let the hips hover. This will help to release your sacroiliac joint. In America, by the age of about 55, men's sacroiliac joints begin to fuse together. Women, it's about 65 if we don't do things like this. And that can cause all kinds of dysfunction in the hips, low back, all the way up the spine. And so just allowing time, breath, and gravity to open this area of the body. Good. We're going to slowly release our seat all the way down to the floor. And then if you'd like to, you can fold your blanket so you create a little bit of a cushion for your seat, but we're only going to bring the edge of our seat to the edge of our blanket. We don't want the whole seat sitting on it. So just kind of find the edge of your seat, let it slide back. And then we're going to extend those legs, out long. Toes are gonna point up. Engage the legs, so hug those thighs, the muscles to the bone on your legs. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Good, moving with your breath on the exhale, we're gonna hinge forward at the hips. You can take as much or as little a bend in these as you need. And so that might mean, that the feet are literally this bend, just depending on what's happening in your body. Or maybe you just don't fold as far. On the inhale, come back up. On the exhale, hinging forward. Maybe there's a little bit more space. Tail is sliding back, heart is moving forward. A dynamic tension. Inhale, slowly come back up. Good, last time, exhale, hinge forward. And then float the hands down. So the hands are on the floor or maybe on the legs. Maybe you're hooking the toes or reaching for the feet if that's available. But we're trying to keep our spine as long and straight as possible. So take as much or as little a bend in the knees as you need to be safe and comfortable in this pose. Relax the head. Forward folds help to bring the body back to homeostasis. Very calming and soothing for our nervous system. Good, slowly walk those hands back toward you. And then we're gonna bring the left foot into the thigh. So this is going to be a little bit different. It's not exactly a head to knee where we normally fold over that leg. Instead, we're going to fold through the opening. So you might want to take that foot a little wider so you have some space for the hips. Toes are going to point up, leg engaged, and we're softening this left leg toward the mat, trying to open that hip. In fact, you might even take a breath or two, just aligning your spine as you gently press that thigh down. Feel free to support it with a block or a blanket underneath. And then keeping the length in the spine, we're gonna come directly forward. So begin to walk those hands forward. You can always use blocks here. You might choose to even rest your forearms on a block at any level. Melting your heart here. Breathing. Nice job. Slowly walk the hands back toward you. Good. And then we're going to take a little twist here. So it's going to be, again, a little different than usual. Bring the right hand in front, left hand behind, keeping that extended leg engaged, staying grounded through your sits bones. Lengthen the spine first. Begin to twist, starting with the belly, then the chest, and then the head comes last, rotating. Breathe here. Keep that heart nice and open, so keep the shoulders drawn away from those ears. You can always take that front hand, your right hand, over to your left thigh or knee as the twist deepens. But we never force the twist. We don't ever want to try to force healing either. It's going to happen in its own time, in its own way. So it requires a level of surrender and patience. Good. Bring your gaze back to neutral and slowly unravel the twist. So extend the legs out, shake it out, and then switch sides. So we're going to take left foot out, bring the right foot in, adjusting as you need to feel grounded here. Support that leg as needed. Your extended leg engages, toes point up, ears and shoulders stacking over the hips. Maybe a gentle press into that thigh just to create a little bit more space. Breathe. Good. As it becomes available, we're going to start hinging forward, keeping those hips grounded, keeping the spine long and straight. So notice if the shoulders creep up by the ears or you're rounding and that head is trying to get to the floor, let the crown move forward as an extension of the spine. And then again, you may choose to have a block here to support you. Bring the ease to the shape. Check in with your breath, notice your jaw. Maybe you need to release the breath through an open mouth to release the jaw. Good. Slowly walk the hands back toward you. Sitting up nice and tall. Take the left hand in front, right hand behind you, ground down. So root down to rise up, lengthen that spine, and then begin the twist to the left, or right, excuse me, belly, chest, and then head last. Every inhale, envision you're lengthening the spine, energy flowing freely. Every exhale, you're breathing out what no longer serves you, what you don't need. Maybe that left hand finds its way to the near thigh. Good. Bring the gaze back to neutral and then slowly unravel. Good. Bring those knees in and then slowly make your way onto your back. Come into a full body stretch, lengthen the entire body. Feel all that space you created. Feel how much easier it is to breathe now. Coming back to your healing intention. Bringing that energy flow, that love, that light, that breath where you need it most. And then you'll slowly make your way into your final rest position. So you might want to support the backs of the knees. You might want to support the back of the head. You might want to elevate the legs or bend the knees if you're having pain in the low back area. Find your way into a posture that feels healing, restorative, supported. As you settle in, I'm going to give you one more quote to just kind of ponder in this time of rest and stillness. It's by Nania Hoffman, and she says, "Note to self, none of us are getting out of here alive. So please stop treating yourself as an afterthought. Eat the delicious food, walk in the sunshine, jump in the ocean. Say the truth you've been carrying in your heart like hidden treasure. Be silly, be kind, be weird. There's no time for anything else." Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, starting to awaken your body. You're going to gather your knees toward your chest. Just giving yourself a loving, compassionate hug, thanking your body for all it was able to do, sending gratitude. As you're ready, roll to the opposite side that you did at the beginning of the practice, if you remember. If not, don't worry. Just roll to one side. Pause there for a moment in a fetal position, position of hope, possibility, new life. As you're ready, begin to bring yourself into a seated position, taking your time. Once you arrive in a seated position, place one hand over your heart and one over your belly. Just sending some healing to yourself. Feel your cup filling up from this practice, your intention, your careful attention, that loving kindness. Bring your hands to your heart center where the joining of opposites heals all opposites. Bow your head to your heart. The one who is healing in me sends love, light, and healing to the one who is healing in you. Namaste, my friends.